Before we arrived, wing commander called everyone into the base theater, and he said, "We have these two Negro pilots coming in, and they'll be assigned to one of the squadrons." Well, the pilots told us this out. So they said, "No way are we going to fly with them. No way." But they did. 9 months after I arrived, I was flight commander to schedule them to fly missions. Yeah, right.
The worm turns, right? But that must have felt so good to have stupid people make stupid comments about you when they don't know you. And then you end up being their boss. I mean,
Right.
retribution. That had to feel great.
But my whole military career, I didn't have any problems whatsoever as far as mission goes, because I was the best.
Hello and welcome to Along the Way Life's Journey. I'm your host, Carl Buccellato. Throughout my life, I have met many people along my way. Many truly impressed me. Today's guest is at the top of the list. He is Lieutenant Colonel James H. Harvey III, U.S. Air Corps, U.S. Air Force, retired. He is a former fighter pilot with the 332nd Fighter Group's 99th Fighter Squadron, best known as the Tuskegee Airmen, Red Tails, or as known among the enemy German pilots, Schwarzwiegelmännchen, Black Birdmen. Harvey was also the first African-American combat pilot to fight in the Korean War, where he flew 140 missions. He has earned more medals and awards than can be listed in this brief intro, but they are topped by the Congressional Gold Medal, which he received in 2006, along with Dr. Harold Brown, George Hardy, and Harry Stewart Jr., as acknowledgement of being the very first Top Gun winners in 1949. You may ask, why did it take so long? Well, the U.S. had a segregated military during World War II, but more about that later. Colonel Harvey was born in New Jersey on July 13, 1923, which means we can all wish him a happy birthday. Yes, it makes him 99 years old and still going strong. Harvey served in the U.S. Air Force from 44 to 65 and retired as a lieutenant colonel. After service, he was a key employee of Oscar Myers Corporation in Denver, Colorado, where he lives today. He married and has 4 delightful daughters. Please welcome the true American hero and the first Top Gun. Sorry, Tom Cruise, you weren't even in the running. Lieutenant Colonel Harvey, James H. Harvey III. Welcome to our program, Colonel.
Yes, sir.
It is delightful to have you here. I say that you're on the top of my list because I will reveal to the people that I met you many years ago on a cruise ship and was so delighted to meet you. We spent the day chatting. So, folks, I want you to know that this is the real thing. This man lived these experiences that only movies are made out of. And he has an incredible story, a really incredible story. Look up a little bit, look into the camera so we can see your face. There you go. There you are. Okay. That's so happy to have you on the show. 99 years old. You're so vibrant and you look like you have all your facilities. What do you do to stay strong and capable at 99?
Oh, I take a lot of supplements.
A lot of supplements.
Not pills, supplements, right? Yeah.
Do you have a longevity in your family? Do people have a long-lasting longevity?
Yeah, my mother lived to be 100. My father, he died at 65. But my mother lived to be 100.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So your story is one that many, many people don't know, although more and more are knowing about them in the recent years. And that is that in, I guess it was 1949, wasn't it, that the Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force sent out a dictate that all of the different participating Air Force units would gather together for a competition for performance. Is that correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Almost. It's close enough.
Well, let us know. Let us know what happened then.
He sent out a directive to all the fighter groups in the United States that they were to hold a weapons competition amongst each of the fighter groups each of the fighter squadrons in the fighter groups, and between each pilot, of course. And then they were to pick their 3 high scorers to represent their fighter group in the first ever Top Gun weapons meet to be held at Las Vegas Air Force Base, Nevada in May of 1949.
And
We
that consisted of what competitions? I know there were what, 6? It was 10 days long, right? And there was 6 different competitions, right? There was aerial bombardment and strafing and gunnery and so forth.
Yes, there were. Yes,
And your team led the way through all of them. Is that correct?
no, that's not correct. That's what I thought. But after looking at the figures don't lie, liars figure.
Yeah, right.
After looking at the figures, we didn't leave through all from start to finish, but we won enough to win the meet.
So you
However,
did win the meet. And so that makes you officially the first Top Guns in the United States.
Correct.
But the Army did not recognize it because there was a segregated Army at that time. And unfortunately, they, I guess they had their biased conditions of who they wanted to show as the winners. But you guys really did it.
Yes, we did. We finally got our recognition January the 12th, 2022.
And they gave you the Congressional Gold Medal. Is that right?
Yeah, we got that in 2007. Yes.
How did that feel? I know they drape it on you. How did that must have been an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I should have put all that stuff on, I guess.
Well, we'll show some pictures of it, throughout this show. There'll be plenty of places where my producers can show slides and pictures. So, but how did it feel to stand there after all those years and get that recognition?
It's a good feeling. Finally got it. Finally.
Finally.
Yeah. Almost 73 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's a lifetime.
And now, and you were there for it, and a couple of the other men still were alive and they received it, right? But you had 1 or 2 people that didn't make it through to get that receipt, right? They passed before.
Stuart and I are the only 2 left on the team, the whole team. The enlisted men and the 4 pilots. We're the only 2 left. Well, I saw him last week, and he's great. Yes.
You still travel quite a bit. I know in my conversations with you over the last couple of months since you celebrated your 99th birthday, you were in the Carolinas and then you went somewhere else out west. You're a traveling guy, aren't you?
Yes, I am. An awful lot. That's good. Keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah, I like that myself. I have a little bit of the wanderlust myself. I've had the good fortune of traveling all over the world. My wife tries to contain me a lot now because of COVID, but I'm raring to go. I'm always ready to go somewhere.
No, don't contain you and say, let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. That's the way to stay vital, right? So I see behind you, you have a jet, and it looks like the kind of jet you flew in Korea. Is that correct?
F-102. I flew that in Newfoundland. And then when I came back to the States, I was assigned as a squadron operations officer of the 71st Fighter Squadron at George Air Force. No. Selfridge Air Force Base in Michigan. I was ops officer of the F-102 squadron there.
That has to be an amazing feeling to be up there with all that power at your control. And it's just you and the other guy in his cockpit. I mean, I was a boxer when I was a kid, and I know that every time I stepped into the ring, that energy and you just go, you and they against the other guy. But here you are with all that heavy equipment.
There was no other guy in the F-102.
No, I didn't mean in with you. I meant the opposing pilot in the other plane.
Oh, yes.
That's got to be quite a challenging feeling.
It is. It's a great feeling.
Especially when you win. It's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah. It's a profession where you can't make a mistake.
That's right. That's right.
You got to make the right decision every time. So
that's right. There's no second chances up there.
Huh? No. Sometimes you can have a second chance. You're lucky, but you don't go for second chances. You go to make it right first time.
So This show is primarily focused on, it's called Along the Way Life's Journey. And it's meant to be people who I bring on the show who talk about things and people who motivated them and inspired them in their lives to help them to become more than they were without that inspiration. And I'm sure that with your background and your family, there were many people that you met along your life's journey that inspired you and motivated you. Can you tell us a little bit about what your energy drive was? Because I know from a very early age, you wanted to be a pilot, you volunteered, you kept pushing forward, even though you had restraints against you. Uh, what were some of the things and people that motivated you?
Well, my motto was do unto others as you have them do unto you, and strive for perfection. I was a perfectionist, and perfectionists, they can do everything or anything.
Right. Right.
So, and when I got married, I had to knock that off. But
Of course,
now that I'm
as a
single,
husband, I know you can't be perfect.
that's right. That's right. So now I'm single. I'm back to it. So back to my old ways. So,
Now you're perfect again.
but it's just me. So
So you have 4 daughters, I know, and you live in Denver, Colorado. And after the military, you joined Oscar Mayer, and you were with him for how many years?
let's see, 60 times 15
15
years.
years.
Yes.
And,
And
and what did you
that's
do with them?
okay. I started out as a salesman and worked my way up to distribution center manager here in Denver. And I had 10 salesmen, 2 district managers, 3 core people, and 2 secretaries working for me.
Well, you certainly had enough training and briefing to lead large groups of men while you were in the military. That should have been easy for you to handle something like that.
And snap.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure. I'm sure
That's
it was.
no problem at all there. Just do what I tell you.
That's it. Do what I say, and that's it. You say
That's
when
it.
they say jump, they say how high, right?
I say jump, how high?
That's right.
No,
So
I had a good career. I've had a good life. No problem.
you certainly have.
None. Yeah.
What would you say is the highlights of your life?
Highlight of my life. Oh, I guess I'd have to say my 4 daughters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
blessings, right?
my military career after that. Yeah. I have 4 good girls. Very
I
good.
had the occasion to meet Kathy a couple of times, and she's been very helpful in putting this program together. We had a couple of technical difficulties, and I was down sick for a couple of weeks, and you were out traveling, vagabonding around, celebrating your 99th birthday. You know? I find that amazing. I really do. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always the oldest guy on the show, but not by far with you today, you know. Although you and I celebrate our birthdays within the same week, years apart, but the same. You're
Same week.
July the 13th, and I'm the 17th.
17th. Oh,
That's
good
right.
people. Good people born in July.
Absolutely. You're
Right.
99 and I'm 80. So, you know,
Close.
it's close. It's close. God provided I might make it to your age. You know, for me, it's been, I've had my incidents of near misses many times also. And I give credit to God to carry me through it. I've had all kinds of should have been dead experiences and could have been dead experiences, but I'm here and I'm loving life every day and trying to make the best out of it.
And you
That's
still
that.
traveling?
I travel when my wife and I can get a chance to do so. I retired from my business a few years ago, sold the business. And so, ironically, I never learned how to play golf. I don't play tennis. So I wasn't determined to be a couch potato. And I was a journaler most of my life. And I journaled events and my feelings and emotions of things as they happened over a period of 50 years. So I did have a large collection of journals. And my wife said to me at one day, She said, there's a lot of good stuff in there that could help a lot of people. Why don't you write it down somewhere? And so I created a novel. It's actually this book right here behind me, wherever it is backwards. It's called To Every Page of Turning. And it's the story of my generation from being born in the war in 1942 throughout the 20th century and the paradigm shifts that my generation went through. Education, the business world, getting married, the Vietnam years, all of those things that helped to change and shape the people of my generation. And it led me to publish the book. It's in its second printing now, so it was well received. And then my publicist said, "Why don't you're good on TV when you get interviewed? Why don't you do a podcast?" And frankly, between you and I didn't even know what a podcast was. Podcast, strange word. What does that mean? So they explained it to me, and now we're on my podcast. And this is the podcast. And it's all about people and things that motivate other people along the way. For me, it has a great deal to do with my belief in Christ and how he saved my life many, many, many times, many times. And so for you, I'm sure it's the joy of your 4 daughters. I have 4 children myself. I understand what that's like. I have a joy in an offspring. Most of the times you feel great joy about it. Sometimes you bite your knuckle and think, how did I do that?
I'm down to 2 daughters now. So.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And I see the other daughter every Sunday. She lives about 3 miles from here.
So both your daughters live close to you. That's great. That's great.
So we're close. We're close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you grew up in New Jersey, I saw somewhere in there, right? You were born in Montclair, New Jersey, then moved somewhere else, correct?
Right. I was born in Montclair, and then we moved to Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania in 36.
So how was that growing up in Pennsylvania, a Black young man in Pennsylvania in 1936? Did you have issues?
We moved there in 36, and a little small town called Nuangola Station, Pennsylvania. And you can tell by the name about how large it was.
Yeah.
It was a train station at one time, but we were the only family of color out there. And I was in the 7th grade at the time. I attended a 2-room schoolhouse. So 1 through 5 in one room and 6, 8 in the other. But anyway, I finished school there. No name calling, no nothing. I was treated like everybody else, just like one of them. And when then I went to high school, and there we had to catch the bus. I went up to Mountaintop, Pennsylvania to high school. The name of the high school was Fairview High School, and it had grades 1 through 12. And when I entered the 9th grade, there were no people of color in that school either. So I was the only one again. And we didn't have any sports. All we had were gymnastics and basketball. Well, I ended up being an anchorman on the gymnastics team and captain of the basketball team. And then in my senior year, a young lady of color came in, and her name, I forget her name right now. I can't pull it up. I'm getting at that age where I can't. Anyway, then in my senior year, there were 2 of us in school, but neither one of us recall any kind of names. We were just like everybody else. We fit in, no problem. Oh, in my senior year, I was class president and valedictorian. And I led the good life. I led the life that you lead right now. I wasn't subjected to racism until I got into the military.
Yeah.
I was drafted in March of 43, got the train in Wilkes-Barre, and 44th Pennsylvania bound for Fort Meade, Maryland, on the train. Train arrived at Washington, D.C. a little early. So I went and got breakfast, came back to get in the car I was in. The conductor said, no, 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 no. You ride in the car where Negroes ride. Welcome to the South. And that point on, everything was downhill. So I can't relax like I used to. I'm always on guard. It's not a good feeling,
Of course not.
but I know what life is like, really, the kind you lead every day. No worries. You don't have to worry about anything. You can enjoy yourself. I can't do that anymore, but I know what it's like. And I appreciate it. Yes. One day may get back. I don't. Who knows?
But you were beyond that, I imagine, in your business career. They treated you equally in the business career, I imagine, because you were promoted to a very high position. When you were with Oscar Myers, I'm sure you didn't confront that kind of racial discrimination, did you?
No, none.
No,
none.
I would imagine not. The world has changed.
In my military, and after they integrated the military,
Yeah,
didn't experience any of that either.
yeah, I think that was Truman who said that the military should no longer be segregated. Is that correct?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was Truman. He was a religious man, and he didn't believe in discrimination.
Executive Order 9981.
Yeah. So when you went to Korea, it was no longer a segregated military.
Oh, when I went to Korea, my buddy Eddie Drummond, he and I were in the 99 at Lockport in Columbus, Ohio, together. We were both sent to the same outfit in Japan, Misawa, Japan. So we were the only two in the group, the only two in the groups, you might as well say, and the only two at base. And we didn't have any problems whatsoever. Before we arrived, wing commander called everyone into the base theater, and he said, we have these two Negro pilots coming in, and they'll be assigned one of the squadrons. Well, the pilots told us this out. So they said, no way are we going to fly with them. No way. But they did. 9 months after I arrived, I was flight commander to schedule them to fly missions. Yeah, right.
The worm turns, right? That must have felt so good to have stupid people make stupid comments about you when they don't know you. And then you end up being their boss. I mean,
Right.
retribution. That had to feel great.
But my whole military career, I didn't have any problems whatsoever as far as mission goes, because I was the best.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at
Absolutely.
Tuskegee, our training was different than the white cadets. The white cadets, all they had to do was demonstrate they could get the aircraft off the ground and back on safely. With us, everything we did had to be perfect. Every maneuver had to be perfect. That's why we were so good. They were trying to stop, but they're making us better.
Yeah, they force you to be better.
Right.
I love it.
That wasn't their plan, though. That wasn't their plan. But that's the way it worked out.
So you seem to be you seem to accept what happened without too much anger, but you still have a little rooted.
Well, they didn't accept, really.
Yeah.
When the group came back from overseas and put foot on American soil, they put a classification on the Tuskegee Airman, top secret. That stays on for 50 years.
Yeah.
And in 1995, that's when the classification came off. And that's when the first movie, that Tuskegee Airman, came out.
Yeah, I remember that well.
Yes, the same year. So they didn't want people to know about the program because it was too successful. It wasn't supposed to work out that way. We were supposed to fail. And we did. Yeah.
That was one of the pet projects of Eleanor Roosevelt, wasn't it? To support that group?
Yeah, she went to Tuskegee with Chief Anderson. Said,
Yeah.
yeah, they can fly like anybody else.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
That's right. So, did you? I'm sure you saw the movie, The Tuskegee Airman. Did it?
Yes, I.
What did you find it true to what it should have been, or would you have
Yes.
said it? Okay.
Yes. It shows what we had to go through to get our training at Tuskegee. Now, in that movie, you can't talk. You got to listen because most of that movie is in the words that are being said,
Hmm.
not in what you see. It's
Yeah.
what you right.
Yeah. So here we are, all these years later. We're in 2022. We have a world that seems to be circling backwards with morons in charge, one right after the other, regardless of what they call themselves, one group or another group. They're all morons in charge. And they seem to be wanting more and more division in this country rather than less and less. Would you agree with me that this is something that people of good sense should speak up and say, stop? This is nonsense.
Yeah, you're right. It's getting worse, going back the way we used to be,
It's terrible.
which isn't good. Not at all.
But they're using it for power plays and they don't care who gets hurt.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I don't think. People have to wake up. And let's hope they wake up in time to uh, not go backwards.
Well, I think
I don't
I think our generations have an obligation to speak out to the ones below us to warn them that they're on a perilous journey, and that if we speak up, they'll probably ignore us, but maybe something will happen where someone will listen and pay attention to wisdom, because a lot of these younger generations are not expressing wisdom at all.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, you and I have, this is our second meeting. The first time I met you on that cruise ship, I could have spent the whole cruise with you. I enjoyed your company so much. We chatted throughout the lunch and the day. I have lots of pictures from that time together. And I can't help remembering that when I got off the ship, I told so many people of what a wonderful person I met and how we were engaged in these very meaningful conversations, and I don't know why the world can't be like that. I don't understand why people can't, just come together and appreciate each other's gift of giving to one to another.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it's so easy the way I see it. It's easy, but they won't give us a chance. They put us in a box and we're all supposed to be the same way. And no, we're not the same way. We're different, just like everybody else.
Everybody's different. I grew up, I'm Sicilian American. My grandparents and parents came from Sicily, which means that everywhere I went as I was growing up, I had the stigma, oh, the mafia, the mafia, the mafia.
Yeah. Yeah.
BS, it's just that people will want to you're right, put people in boxes, little boxes, not give them a chance to express who they are personally. I mean, I look behind me as I'm talking to you right now. There's an array of things that have more to do with me than ever the mafia. There's a painting over there that I painted in Italy years ago, and I keep it to remind me of a tranquil time. There's a picture on the left there of Christ holding the lamb in his hand with the scars on his hand, and that's a painting my wife painted. And I keep that as a reminder to me that there is a generous God that loves us, and none of this has to do, none of me has to do with the stigma and the words that people use. And none of you has to do with the stigma and the words. You're a gentleman from the word go. You're highly intelligent. You're a capable driver. Nothing was ever going to stop you from succeeding. Nothing. I mean, you could have been a paraplegic and still succeeded. You're that kind of a man.
Yeah. But they don't want to give me a chance. They don't want to give me a chance. But anyway, things are a lot better today than they used to be. And another thing that a lot of people don't know, the majority of the items you use today were invented by us. Who invents things? People doing the work. Who was working? We were working from the middle of the 16th century to the end of the 18th century and the first part of the 19th century. We were doing all the work. Who comes up with inventions? People doing the work.
That's true. That's true. I believe that.
But people assume they weren't invented by us. These things weren't invented by them. No, they're too stupid.
Well,
Anyway, they were.
again, that has to do with power, and people take possession of the rights to things and profit from it. That's not where the inspiration of discovery came from. That is where the power grab came from.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people with power grabs in this world. So, Harvey, do you have any grandchildren?
Yes, I've 12, 6 grandchildren.
And I'm sure they all know your story.
No, they don't know my story yet. But as far as I know, they don't. And
Really?
I have 6 great grandchildren.
That's wonderful.
I haven't told them my story.
What are you waiting for? For your 100th birthday? Get them in the circle. Get them in a circle and talk.
When they get a little older, I'll tell them.
How old are they now? They have to be at least teenagers, right?
I really don't know their ages. I really don't.
I would assume they'd have to be at least teenagers.
They're preteen. They're
preteen.
Right. So, but they're getting up there.
Oh, you must have some that are more than preteen because you have great grandchildren. Right? That means some of your grandchildren have already sired children, so they're old enough to know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not thinking.
See, I know that because I also have 4 grandchildren and 5 great grandchildren. So
right. Yeah, you're right. They are older, but I haven't told them either. So,
well, it's your legacy, and they're right to know.
They're in another state. I'll talk to them one day. Maybe when I hit 120, I'll
Knowing you, that's probably the speed on your car you're driving before it's your age. 120.
But let's see. I have 1, 2, 3. I have about 6 here in Colorado and about 6 in Ohio. So,
well, so did you see this? I'm sure you saw the movie Top Gun with Tom Cruise. It's all the rage this year. It's been raging it's a remake of the original, and it's making all kinds of tons of money. Did you see any of it and laugh?
I saw the movie. It was a good movie. But I don't know. I thought the first one was better than the second.
I'm glad to hear that because I didn't spend the $20 to see the second one.
He made over $3 million the first day.
Yeah, I know. It's a box office sensation.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get to meet him. We tried to get together in western part of Colorado. I'm trying to think of the name of the town, but I can't right now. But we haven't been able to get together. We're hoping to get together this summer, though, hopefully.
Well, that would be great. That would be great.
Yes, it will. Yeah.
You know,
I'm going to invite him to my birthday party.
You should do that. And you should not only invite him to the birthday party, you should send a copy of the invitation to the local television station so they know that you have invited Tom Cruise to your 100th birthday party because you're the original Top Gun and he's mimicking you. And when they put that on the air, he can't not but show up.
Stand into it.
Right? Why not? Why not? So, what kind of activities are you involved with these days?
Activities?
Yeah.
Just traveling. I get home and there's another message for me to go to this place or that place. All I've been doing is traveling.
People promoting the story.
I'm taking a vacation in December. And my other daughter, Allison, she and I are going to the Caribbean.
Good for you.
10-day cruise in the Caribbean.
You know what? I won't say it on the line because people might hear it, but my wife and I are going to be on a cruise in the Caribbean in December also. Maybe we'll meet again.
What ship?
I won't say it online because we'll get people. I'll tell you when we go
off. Okay. Well, I'll tell you which one I'm going on. It's the now I can't think of the cruise line. It's the same one we met on.
Oh, we met on the Princess.
Say again.
We met on the Princess.
Yeah, that's what this is. The Princess.
Yeah.
And the Enchanted.
The Enchanted. Well, right. I'm going to miss you there. Maybe we'll meet in a port somewhere. I'm not going to be on that ship.
Could be.
I'll see you in Freeport or one of those, and we'll have a rum runner or something.
We're setting sail on the 7th of December.
Oh no, we're sailing on the 28th through New Year and coming back after January. So
okay.
So we're sailing later.
Too bad.
Next time. So listen, anything you'd like to tell the folks out here about the secret for your success of living to 99, which is looking at you, it's just a beginning. You're going a long way yet. You're strong and full of consciousness and everything. So what would you like to tell people in our closing moments?
Well, just like my motto I always live by. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
God bless.
Take care of everything. Right.
That's true. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining this show today. I hope it resonated with you. This is a special, special man with a special story. And I hope you listened very carefully to what he said and to some of the pain and the things he didn't quite say, but are still there. And I think it's important for us to recognize that we are all part of this human condition called life. We're all the same. When you cut our blood, when you cut our veins, we bleed red blood. We're all the same. And so I say to all of you out there, watch our shows every Wednesday morning. We come out with a new show and a new guest. If you have someone you'd like to recommend to be on the show, please let us know. We'll consider it. And I know this. Tell your story. I know you have a story. Everyone has a unique story, unique to themselves. And no one can tell it like you can. Tell it before it's too late. Tell it while you still can, while your family and your friends can benefit from knowing what you went through, what your life has taught you. Because when it's too late, it's too late. No one can know it anymore. So I remind you what I tell you every week. And I'm going to do it in spite of this handsome man here. I have enough pride in myself to do this. Tell someone you love them today. It's very important. Raise up and say, I love you to someone. Colonel, it has been a pleasure.
Thank
you, sir.
Right.
God bless.
Right.
God bless. Thank you for tuning into the show. I hope that it resonated with you. It certainly did with me. And I hope it encouraged you to realize the true power of your story. As a reminder, new episodes will be released Wednesday mornings on your favorite podcast apps and also on YouTube as well. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn your notification button on to ensure that you receive updates on new episode releases. I'm grateful for your reviews and your support. The love is certainly felt. Keep it coming. You can reach out to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, or stop by my website, toeverypageofturning.com. All links are clickable in the show notes for quick access. Do you think that you or someone you know may be our most inspiring guest yet? Let's hope so. Click on our contact page and get in touch on my website and share your story. I look forward to reading each one personally. My best-selling book, To Every Page a Turning, which was published by Mascot Books, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, and many more popular book retailers. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Till next time, remember that every day is a new opportunity to write your new page in your incredible journey. And it is incredible. You're the only one who has it.